man. Woo! Welcome on in, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic evening out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is lovely. I am already loving the JFig jokes in the chat. That honestly, you guys are hardcore. That warms my heart. I was just making sure my mic was switched off, so I apologize for being 2 minutes late. You know, I was trying to make sure this thing sounded good for everybody. And you know, that is my excuse. It is not a train. It is not a case of birdering. It is nothing. So look, I really want to commit to doing these more. I always say that, and then I don't do them for like 3 months, which is shitty of me. I apologize. But it is fun to have everybody here. I appreciate you guys stopping in on the live chat as we are here upon a Miami Dolphins week 1. We are here amongst the Miami Hurricanes taking over college football. We are here less than a month out from Miami Heat training camp. It's all happening for us, baby. The Cats, we got Cats Media Day in 2 weeks. Sergei Bobrovsky is going to have a damn Stanley Cup ring. This is crazy, man. So it is high times to have everybody in here, in on the chat. You guys can get in on there. We got this going live on YouTube and Twitch. So anybody who wants to get on live chat questions, feel free. They are all there for you. You guys can get in here. We will rock on here for the next time being. I do have to go at around 10, 20-ish. I'm supposed to go on some radio show. I've never heard of the guy that I'm going on with. Respectfully, I don't know who he is. But they said they want me coming on tonight to talk some Dolphins. I'm like, sure, we could do that. His name is Bart Winkler, which I was like, you know, that's a real name that the guy has. And then I was like, man, kind of a good radio name though. Kind of good. I'm picturing him calling me up, bringing me on here and being like, well, let's go out to Miami and little Miami Dolphins. Bart Winkler is here, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, baby. That's what we got going on, ladies and gents. So get in on the chat. You guys are free to do so. It is Goosey's galore. Chaka Flacco. We got it all going for us. Brandon G, what's going on, dude? Javier. We got Javi from the Twitch. We got Damien. We got Greg. We got Josiah coming on here. Appreciate everybody who is hopping in there. Trevor is here from the 203. What's popping, dude? Finn's get tailgate. See you, dude. Thank you for hopping by. And yeah, there we go. Coach AJ wants to know, Tobes, you still boxing in Boca? Not really. The last time I went to my guy Dia Davis's gym was over the summer. My son had a week off from jiu-jitsu, and Dia, who, if you guys don't know Dia Davis, he was a great boxer and is a great boxing coach. He has a place called the Boca Boxing District. That's my guy. And he did a youth class. And so I was like, yeah, my son was taking a week off jiu-jitsu. I was like, hey, you want to go try boxing? He loved it. The only thing is, kind of far from my house. It's like you got to go down, then you got to go all the way east. Kind of a pain in the ass. So that is my excuse as to why I have not been there more. But can't recommend it enough. If you guys are looking to get into a good workout, he has some really fun classes. That's a great gym. Delray Boxing is a nice gym. They have a nice facility there. There's some good places around here. So there you go. Toes, what you got on Jalen Ramsey? I mean, nothing good. He did not practice, hasn't been practicing, and then apparently is dealing with a hamstring injury, which is a bummer. First of all, I'm full on for Jalen Ramsey always getting revenge games against the Jaguars because they chose Blake Bortles over him, and I got to figure you want to stick it to Shad Khan, and you know here's the tricky thing, like you got these 2 games in 4 days. That's like a real pain in the Dolphins' ass because they are somehow all, you know, jumbled up with these injuries. And you're like, all right, who do we play? And we kind of know already that Jalen Phillips is going to be on a snap count. And that's cool. That's totally understandable. You want to be reasonable with him. But with Jalen Ramsey, it's a hamstring. We've seen Xavier Howard a little bit tweaked when it comes to chasing receivers around. And the Jaguars receivers are not bums. Like, they're pretty good, especially they have Gabe Davis, who's a track star. You guys are familiar with him with Buffalo. So they're not the Dolphins receivers. They got this new guy from LSU they're very excited about. Their tight end is a badass. So, yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Like, maybe he goes out there and they're just being super limited with him. Like, 9 guys got vet days, and I'm like, haven't these guys gotten vet? Like, why do you need a vet day on week 1? I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not judgy on Mike McDaniel, but I'm just like, vet days week 1? Like, why? That's very strange to me. So, but I'm a little squeamish that you got that going on there. Little squeamish for sure. Trevor says, thoughts on the DirecTV and ESPN dispute? Yeah, it's hot garbage. It's garbage that they do this to the consumer. And there's so, I think that the fact that these things happen with so many options these days, and really, like, you almost, I don't know if anybody's still locked in like a DirecTV contract anymore, if that's still a thing. Like, when I first signed up for DirecTV, that was a thing. But then I was with DirecTV for so long. DirecTV used to be like so grateful. They gave me free Sunday ticket for like the last 5 years I had DirecTV, but then they lost the Sunday ticket and I had no need for them anymore. So, but I think it sucks because I feel like it's inconvenient. And what are we doing here? So it's garbage. I hate that they're doing that. I feel bad for Leroy because, he could probably get it switched, but why? He's like, he's just going to grumble about it. Plus, he's going to be boots on the ground in Michigan and Cleveland this weekend. So I guess he's got time to deal with it. Wade says, is UFC Sphere Talk? Be a little, yeah, for sure. Whatever your question is. If you guys want to talk fighting, if you guys want to talk UFC, boxing, radio, Dolphins, Heat, Canes, Panthers, whatever the hell, man, I'm here for you. But just go and hit us on up. That's going. Can Tua lead the league in touchdowns? Absolutely possible, for sure. This Dolphins team, touchdown machines. They had the league leaders last year in rushing and catching touchdowns. Yeah, he absolutely can. I think that's not a crazy thing. That's why they're not even that high on the on the odds thing. Although I did think that the odds for Raheem Mostert were kind of tasty to lead the league in touchdowns. Yeah, I did think that. Wade says, do you think Marab can apply Khabib Bilal type game plan? The only thing I'm worried about with him in that is just the size difference and the speed of Sugar Sean. He's going in there with a real sniper. We haven't seen Sean's grappling tested too much because he's gotten a lot of really good matchups. Not saying he's not good, but I guess we don't really know like if Marab can get his hands on it, because we have seen Marab chin up to get in there in that takedown, and he's shown the iron ability to get in there, but then all of a sudden, he's got you grappling and he's ragdolling you for 3 or 5 rounds. So that's definitely something that you got to keep an eye on. Greg Jansen, sealer it on up with you, dude. Absolutely. Nicholas says, will Buzzcut Herro make a difference next season? I hope so. Obviously a very big year for him. I don't know if it's going to be the Buzzcut. I actually genuinely, I know we make a lot of jokes about the muscles. I genuinely do think he looks stronger. I'm not even just talking like the arms. I feel like he looks like he's filled out better. He looks less like a kid. He look like he's getting some man muscles on him. And the big thing with him is durability. That's the thing. Obviously the postseason questions are still there, but a lot of his postseason issues come down to durability. Like if you go to the ones that he played last year, okay, that's a knife and a gunfight. The year before that, he has the unfortunate breaking of hand. They go to the finals. So it's kind of like this. People feel like it's an addition by subtraction, even though that's probably not a fair way to go. Probably could have used him in the finals against the Nuggets. The year before that was probably the most frustrating because there were good performances, and then he got banged up, and then there were soft tissue things And that's kind of just been the knock, is like there's always something. There's been unfortunate, there's been bad luck, there's been things that catch up with him. The kid just needs a full season. And I think the thing that's unfortunate is, he's always, even back to his rookie year where he got hurt, he had the fortune of having all that time off and going into the bubble. Probably one of the most beneficial things that the Heat did have in the bubble. People want to say bubble frauds, whatever. But the benefits they did have in the bubble were twofold. I think one, they had the break for Tyler Herro to rest his body and come back full strength, almost as a sophomore player. And then Goran Dragic not having to travel up until when he got hurt. And then that was the horrible luck of the bubble. But yeah, he obviously, it's a big year for him coming up. Definitely a big year for him. So that's what we got. Alvaro says, Tobin has the pool looking for the upcoming season. Get the broom ready. Panthers are repeating, and the Dolphins and the Heat are bringing the chip too. Everybody take Alvaro, his words, to the sports god's ears, dude. That is one of those things that would be tremendous. The Panthers, very curious to see what the Panthers are going to be like this year. This is I can't wait to see like the wave of what the fan base is going to be like, to see like all the people who like went to go see Matthew Tkachuk at like a chicken tender place. I'm curious to see what the buzz is like this year. It's kind of cool that they got like the Panthers like went deuces on the on Bally's. They're like, hey, we're gonna go on do our own network. F you guys. And I understand that. The Panthers in media, they get treated like third banana. It's unfortunate, like even behind baseball, which is kind of crazy. But that's just kind of the way these deals work. And the Panthers got to be feeling themselves, rightfully so, and being like, yo, where's our piece? But it has been really, really cool to see them have this summer of the cup. That has been a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Josiah says, do you think the Dolphins defense will be able to pull off the bully defense they have mentioned? Man, that I think is the big question with them, because you got a guy in Zach Sealer who I definitely think can level up, and I think that he expects himself to level up. I don't really know what to expect from Benito Jones. I really don't. So I'm not going to bullshit you guys. I don't know what to expect from him, and if he's going to bring the table. Although I didn't feel like Raekwon Davis was like this massive impact player they had last year either. I think Calais Campbell is awesome, but he is old. So, they feel good about the other guys they can line up there with and kind of bring that fury. It does feel like, the linebackers being a little bit more versatile. I think that David Long brings a lot of that mentality anyway. He loves what Jordan Brooks is going to bring from his athleticism standpoint and all that. So I think it's possible. And I think that, with everybody healthy on the pass rush, like they have a lot of speed, they have a lot of danger. There are elements there, but we kind of got to see it. That's what's got to come to fruition for them. But I definitely think it's possible. Definitely think it's possible. God's Child, appreciate the super chat. He says, Tobes, season record and season MVP, please. Man, what did I say in That's a Win, That's a Loss? Did I say 13 wins or 12 wins? Can't remember. Did I say 13 or 4, 12 and 5? I can't remember. I'm just going to go 13 and 4 to be on the safe side. But 12 and 5. I think 12 and 5 actually is. I think they can do 12 and 5 if they're legit. I think we're going to know quick. If they get off to a fast start, those tests are all going to be there for them. Or there could just be a trend. Like it all feels like they're either going to nut up and show themselves to be for real in the second half of the season. In that case, I think 12 wins is very doable, because I think kind of sets up for them to go like 500 in the second half of the season. I think that's completely reasonable. If they don't, if they get 11 again, like, I mean, you can't feel there's nobody who truly can feel about there's nobody who truly can feel great about them going on the road, unless it's to a dome. So that's why it's important, right? I mean, it's important for them to rack up as many wins as possible. It really is. Season MVP, he asked. I am going to go off the board, and I'm going to go Devon Achane. I think Devon Achane is like the sick X factor, and he's been really like, I think fantasy people have been talking about him a lot because they want to know like how much they should trust him. But I feel like even down here, we've been talking about the receivers. We've been talking Mostert. We've been talking about Jalen Wright. We've been talking about Jonnu Smith. And there hasn't been enough talk of Devon Achane. And I actually think like every time he touches the ball, if you can stay healthy, we'll put that caveat on everything. But I just think that it's not that he's underrated, Warner Brother. It's just that like he's been under talked about, under discussed. It's not underrated. It's under discussed. You know, like just not a lot of there's not enough put on his name. That's all I'm saying. You know, I think he's rated just fine. That's all. That's all. Is Cam Smith a bust? I can't call that yet. I can't call that fight yet. I like what I saw from him. I think the guy looks like he has talent. But yeah, you do have to be out there. That's certainly thing. Dolphins don't have to play in the cold if they get the first seed. And yeah, that's the plan. Like that's got to be the plan. That's definitely got to be the plan. Some Heat questions in here. Let's see. What else? Heat questions. That William says chances of Khalil starting this season. Been talking a little bit about this on the channel. I'm skeptical of it just because that's not Spo's way to go young guys. I don't know if you guys read Shandell Richardson. Love Shandell. But he had just actually put an article out talking about how much Bam was not a fan of Eric Spoelstra his rookie year. It's a great piece. Go check it out. I retweeted it. But it was a quote from him. F it. I'll just read it to you guys so you guys can. Shandell, like, I think it did this interview with Bam, but he's got it like coming out in clips, which is kind of a. Let's see. Anyway, let me see. What was this kid saying? Yeah, here's the article. Bam said of Eric Spoelstra his rookie year that there was like some tension that he was not happy with. He said, man, this Sports Illustrated has a lot of, you know what? There's too many refreshes. Just go read Shandell's piece. The point is he was pissed that Spo wasn't playing him. And he was like, I was friends with Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, Malik Monk. All these teams were giving their kids playing time. And I was not getting any playing time. I never got playing time my rookie year. And he's like, I was not cool with Eric Spoelstra. I did not like him. And now he's just saying like they're BFF. They're like family is what he was saying. So going back to your question about Khalil, that's with bigs. I just have always found him to be a little bit more pump the brakes on giving them the serious playing time. And that is the thing where I'm like, I don't know if he'll really pull the trigger on it. And the other thing that's tough, like there was this piece that, Ethan came out where he was talking about the 3 stars, talked about it on the channel a little bit, that 3 starting jobs up for grabs. The thing is though, it's tough to really know. Like they talked about this last year with Kyle Lowry, and then Kyle Lowry ended up being the starter, but it's tough to really, I feel like it is tough to win a job with less than a week of training camp. And then like 3 preseason games that people are actually going to play, these are things that I think really, like, I think he has an idea in his head. I think he will go in the direction that he truly feels is right, unless like something crazy happens. And then like over the season, the tinkering will happen. But I do like the mentality of the Heat saying like, hey, everybody who's not Jimmy and Bam, you guys got to earn it. I think that's a fair mentality to have. You have your 2 stars, not 3 stars, not 4 stars. You have 2 stars and a bunch of nice players. And they have their spots. If it's truly a competition, he probably already knows what he wants to do. And I don't think that'll end with Tyler Herro being on the bench, even with that being mentioned by Duncan, with being that mentioned by UD. I don't know if it'll lead to a lot of changes because I don't know what really could be determined in a week-long camp and a short preseason. But I like the mentality of it. I like the idea that these guys got to go earn it. So that is that. What do we got here? Laking. What is Laking saying? Tobin the beta, not going nowhere. First round exit at best. All right. Well, thank you, Laking. I'm sure him and his Lakers with their bum-ass JJ Redick. Because if you want to talk about beta, I mean, who's more of a sock puppet than JJ Redick to LeBron James? His podcast host can't even get anybody with real coaching credentials as a head coach of LeBron James. But we want to talk about the Heat being beta. That's hilarious, though. Let's see. Gregory says, that's your opinion. Like you say, this run the tape back. Tyler is a mother-bleeding star, but you didn't hear that from me this season. You're going to hear that later. He's not only, I don't know. You're kind of all over the place, Gregory. I'm guessing you're saying you think Tyler Herro is a star. Look, maybe he will be. I thought I've said this many times. I thought Tyler Herro deserved to be an all-star the year that he was sixth man. I thought sixth man was the thing that kind of held him back from being that, which was kind of bullshit if you think about it. But star, I think is I think he's offensively capable of it, but he is, he's got to stay healthy. Like that's the number one thing with him, honestly. Like it really is. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So that's that. Laking says he's not a Lakers fan. He's a Celtics fan. Well, I appreciate it. Listen, I love a good hate listen myself. I appreciate the Celtics fan listening. I apologize that you have like the least exciting championship of all time. Nobody has given a rat's ass about this. Like nobody. You guys couldn't get anybody on Team USA with real playing time. Your role guys are really your stars. So it's great. You guys finally won your championship. Bully for you. Tip of the cap. Congratulations. Only took Jimmy Butler's knee exploding for you guys to have, a run through the Eastern Conference. Congratulations. And, go to hell. That's all I got to say. What else we got? We got some, let's mix it on up here. Polly, if you could grab one specific role player from any of your favorite Finns team and put it on this year's team, who would you grab? Damn. Role player. So not a star. Role player. Trying to think of like a bigger receiver who would, honestly, I don't know if you can consider Jarvis Landry. He wasn't a role player on the Dolphins, but I feel like that skill set would be pretty valuable. Brandon Marshall kind of played like a role player when he was here. Like a big receiver, perfect for the red zone, would be ideal. You want to know something? Lusaka Polite. It was interesting, Alec Ingold was talking about this, how he's like, he stinks at the third and short. And I was like, yeah, he kind of does for a fullback. Like, they don't use him like that. He gets out in space, he blocks dudes, but they never really hand him off the football for being a fullback, which is kind of odd when you think of an old school fullback. And I know the Dolphins, intricacies of how they play, this is a whole thing, the F does multiple things. But I'm just saying, like a Leroy Horde, you give the ball to Lusaka Polite on those third and short situations, fourth and short situations, automatic. Role player, that feels like the perfect thing that they would need for this team as a role player. Because I feel like the other guys that you're saying, too strong for me to count them as role players. Even if I were to bring them into this team when they were high-profile Dolphins, and then I need them to be role players on this team, I got to pick an actual role player. I'm going to go with Lusaka Polite. I feel like those short yardage situations, perfect. That's what I would have gone with. V21 saying Chambers. See, I feel like he's too good. I feel like Chambers is too good for that. Let's see what else we got. Louis says we're talking basketball, bro. Real starts tomorrow. I agree, dude. Listen, I'm excited for football. Give me your football questions. Don't whine about it. You want to bring something up? Bring it up. Lakin also says, Tobin, I can care less. A chip is a chip. Yeah, but you kind of do, though. You kind of do. You do care a little bit because you know, and they know, like it has to bother the Boston fan. That's like, why didn't they even celebrate down here? Yeah, why did they go to Miami? Why don't they like Boston? It's because your city sucks. That's why. Who I got? Chiefs or Ravens? I'm going Ravens. I'm feeling big fat cat game tomorrow. I'm talking like ring game fat cats. And I think the Ravens are going to roll. I still think the Chiefs are going to be good this year. Don't get me wrong. I will say, though, man, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of national podcasts. And I mean, the entire media, I guess rightfully so, but the entire media has the Chiefs logo in their mouth. Like it is, whew, I'm all right, dude. Does anybody have an original thought? Anybody? Or we all just going Chiefs. I get it. They deserve it. And, maybe I'm salty. They deserve it, but I'm just like, no one's got one out of the box. No one's got anything a little bit spicy for me. No, nobody. And the weird thing is, like, you look at the Ravens, like everyone's writing them off just because like everybody's like, Mahomes can never be beat. Like, well, I guess I got nothing to go, but it's a little Brady Manning-ish right now. That's like how it feels. It's like, well, not really gonna believe Lamar can do it till he does it, or Josh Allen does it till he does it, or Tua does it till he does it. So I get it. It's but like nobody wants to go on an Olimsky. Nobody. So I don't know. That's just what it is. But I get it. Like one of the things that annoyed me with the Dolphins talk, I was listening to some pundits yesterday, and I was like getting annoyed at Good Morning Football with Kyle Brandt, whose just face annoys me in general. But him and Stephen A. and Schrager and Florio and just the bums. And it's just like, but it's like I can't get too rabidly mad because the Dolphins did poop the bed last year. So, they're going to have to go shut these mother bleepers up. They're going to have to go do it. And I don't even really know what the game is until they get to the playoffs that can really do it. I truly don't even know when the Dolphins fan will look at them and really, because I feel like they got hurt. I feel like the Dolphins fan got hurt. The last 2 years you wanted to buy into it. Quarterback got hurt. Okay. The next year, got to this fast start, and then it just wet the bed. And all year, everybody kept saying, can't be the good teams, can't be the good teams, can't be the good teams. And they did beat the good teams. And then, like, the only thing you could hold your hat on was, but they take care of their business. And then they didn't take care of their business in the worst way, and it sent them to Pluto for the coldest game ever. Mahomes' helmet cracking. And your offense just like got completely locked up. Like Tyreek Hill, jammed into oblivion. Tua, miserable. So that's why I'm like, that's why you need that record to be fat this year. Need to it. You need it. Just is what it is. And and you shouldn't apologize for it either. Like, listen, no, I don't see any Lions fans apologizing because like 13 of their 17 games are in domes, and Jared Allen in a dome is like mother bleeping Peyton Manning. I don't hear anybody complaining about that. So yeah, put the odds in your favor. And you know what? You had it all lined up for you at home last year, and you blew it. So they got to do it this year. It's definitely one of these things that has to that there is a ton of pressure, and it's deserved pressure. It's deserved pressure for sure. Jay Gatto, Kyle Brandt officially a bum. Bad rap. How far do we go this year? Why isn't it the Super Bowl? Why wouldn't it be the Super Bowl? Little nervous about the interior offensive line. I'm not a big Eichenberg guy, as anybody who's listened to me knows. I have no idea what to make of this Aaron Brewer. Know he's athletic in the Mike McDaniel system. You kind of trust that's what they did with Connor Williams. But a lot of Titans fans were happy to see him go. And that always makes me a little bit nervous. And there's that. And then, and then on the other side, like, you're kind of hoping Calais Campbell, who is a freak, that, are you going to be able to really trust that front to hold up again? And when does the cavalry come with Bradley Chubb on the team? So, relying on all these old guys, I think it's a gamble. I mean, if they're great, hey, you got talented guys. But if it doesn't work, you're going to kind of know why it is, like, right off the bat, dude. So It's a wild one. Divine says the injury report is fake. I agree with that. I mean, most of it was vet rest. I think there was like 12 guys on it, and like 10 of them were vet rest. Crazy. Mikey, Jet fan, but love you. Thanks, buddy. I'll take it. I can't wish you luck this year, though. Last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, Bill Clinton was in office. That was a long time ago. Whew. Yeah, was that like official passing of the torch? Yeah, I guess you're right. Whew. I know it was blacked out. Crazy. Heat question. Do you think trading for Zach LaVine or Trae Young can still happen? Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, they just make a ton of money, and you wonder, like, what. I think Trae Young's got more value than Zach LaVine does. It's just a lot of dough. I don't think the Heat are going to do that move. It just feels like with the Hawks trading, what the hell's the guy's name? Murray. With them trading him, he's not going anywhere. Like, they kind of made their choice there. So that's kind of what that feels like. But yeah, I don't know. I would have, but I was into it. You guys know, I was like, when the start of the summer happened, I was like, yeah, it was very mad at how the season ended. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take any kind of change. I'll be into it. Any kind of change. Jorge says, I thought your answer was going to be Von Ginks for sure. Ooh, that was you know what? I was trying to think too far back, Jorge. That's a good one though. He would have been perfect. I honestly think letting him go was kind of stupid. Definitely going to be one of those things that they have to and not only that, but you basically replace him with a guy who retired and then went back and got Agba. So you're telling me after like all those maneuvers that you wouldn't have just wanted to go into the situation where you would have just brought Von Ginks back. Yeah, that was crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Hugh Wang. Thank you, Dolphin. Hey, what's up, Dolphin Kane? How are you? Surprised not to see you on the Twitch. You floated over here. Leonardo. No, you're right. Leonardo, what's up with Ramsey? He apparently dealing with a hamstring injury. Mike McDaniel very squirrely about it today. What the hell? Was saying a whole lot of words about it. I did like that Mike McDaniel said, I'll play this for you guys. Like, he acknowledged how long-winded he is, which made me happy. I was like, oh, look at him. He's growing. Let's see what we got. Here we go. This was Mike McDaniel earlier today, and he was talking about Tua's leadership and how it's like, kind of trickled down on everybody. And he's like, yeah, we got a lot of great players, but I just don't let them talk because I talk too much.
That's what people feel, and that's why people follow, is not only do they like him, believe in his skills and ability to, lead them to places they haven't been, but they also trust it and regard it for what it is, which is true. And that's why, I think everyone can feel, we talk a lot about Tua, and as we should, he's an incredible part of this franchise, but there's a lot of players on the same trajectory. I just hog all their press conference time because I talk too long at questions.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And yes, you do. Yes. Words means words. That's a lot of talking. I mean, every day. To 2028, he should tell, huh? I mean, I look at those press conferences and I'm just like, whew, it's a lot. Come on. Brandon G says, I play his press conferences at 1 1/4 speed. It's a sound strategy from you. Kyle, he says, Tobes, are we going to the Super Bowl this year or what? Goddamn right, dude. Of course. Jay Gatto says McCoach of the Year. But I was like, oh my God, he actually he actually had this thing. And I was like, I listened to the press conference today. I'm like, every answer was 4 minutes long. I was like, good God. Good God. Do you think the Dolphins, Javier, do you think the Dolphins will kick the tires on Ryan Tannehill? How would you feel about that? No, I don't think they're going to. I think that was class. Here's the thing, what I think happened. All right. And I'm guilty of this too. All right. When it's slow times, you got to think of stuff to talk about. And I think that the media down here, who I think do a good job. I think all the guys who cover the team, great guys, not really the ones I really know, not really jerks among them. But I think that they went into this year probably thinking the Tua thing was going to be a bigger story all year and all summer. And it wasn't. It was done after like 2 days. And then they're like, you know what we should go into? QB2 battle talk. And I'm like, like, unless you're like the Steelers and you're like having a genuine quarterback battle, who cares? And then people were like, boy, these guys are so bad that we should go kick the tires on Ryan Tannehill. And myself as a sports radio vet, that really hurt me to my soul because the amount of time we spent on that man is too much. And so, no, I'm not into it. But also just like, I'm going to trust the guy that Mike McDaniel drafted in Skyler. I thought that really Mike White was a lot worse than Skylar Thompson was. And also the local quarterback thing, we got to kind of go away from that because Teddy didn't work. Mikey didn't work. Brissett, it didn't work. But yeah, I'm going to go with the guy that knows the system, has been in it for 3 years. And I think, at his best, I think he can wing it a little bit and he can improvise and he can get a little crazy out there. It's not Tua, of course not. Like it's your backup quarterback. Who's going to be comfortable in that situation? They're going to be, listen, if they have Tannehill or they have, if Tua really had a season-ending injury and Skyler looked overwhelmed, not ready after like one game, okay, then pull the ripcord, pull the emergency, and then you can get crazy. But I'm not for that. I wasn't in that. Kyle F. also says, what are your genuine expectations of the season? I have my genuine expectation. I think they're gonna be really good. I'm picking them to win 13 games, 12 at the worst. I got faith in them. I do have questions. I'm doing this on my best projections of it because that's what we do. I want to have the best hopes for it. I think that some bad things went against them last year. I think that there was some young guys, maybe their quarterback who, I think that their quarterback and their coach maybe got figured out a little bit too, on top of some guys getting banged up. Their best players in Mostert and Tyreek. You're hopeful that they can carry over. They're definitely more versatile in weapons. I think the offense is going to be friggin' awesome, dude. I think the offense is going to be incredible this year. Really. I genuinely do. I think the way that they're talking about it, all the wrinkles that they're adding, the Jonnu Smiths, using the tight end more, the amount of versatility they have in the backfield. That's honestly surprising. The wide receiver room kind of feels like the thinnest on the team, but on the top is like the creme de la mother bleeping creme. And yeah, I believe in Tua. I mean, I'm a Tua guy, have been a Tua guy. And it's one of those things where I think it could be a special season. If it's not, this is a little bit of me. Like, this is kind of my last faith of, if it's not, I don't know what the big changes are going to be next year. Because I guess it'll depend on how far they go. But if it ends like it did last year, my guess is it would end with like Tua's still going to be the quarterback. They'll do something to like, let's say they'll do something to get rid of all the old guys. I think Mike McDaniel, there will be a talks of him giving up play calling and things like that, because that's kind of like the next move of the coach. But nah, man, I'm in on this season. I can't wait. Now, to be fair, this is a good first two tests for them, because I think Jacksonville is literally dealing with like all of the questions the Dolphins are, like all of them. They are getting big pressure from their owner with his mustache. They have paid their quarterback who's good. I think Tua, Trevor Lawrence, good. Could they be elite? That's the question. Could they be elite? I think Tua, could be in that category, but he's got to prove it. Could Trevor Lawrence be like? I think he could be, but he's got to prove it. He definitely hasn't dealt with the adversity Tua has. He had to deal with like a drunk coach getting lap dances. Tua had to deal with a coach actually bullying him via text. But all that stuff's over now. All right. They got their money. They got their excuses all out of the way. They all got decent weapons. Offensive lines are kind of Defenses are completely revamped and have new defensive coordinators. They both got off to fast starts last year, and bottoms kind of fell out from under them. Some good points of injuries. Their coach, Doug Peterson's won a Super Bowl, so he gets the leg up on Mike McDaniel. Maybe Mike McDaniel's the cooler, new, innovative guy, but this dude was doing, big bleep Nick Philly specials in a Super Bowl. Like he is, you got to give the nod to the credentials. And, that's just what it is. But he, but I will say he's, as an offensive guy that Doug Peterson is, hearing his quotes this week, he definitely seems like he knows he's got a young secondary, an unproven secondary, and he knows that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to be a handful for his defense. They got two excellent pass rushers. One of them almost led the league in sacks last year, and Josh Hines-Allen, which congratulations adding to your name. I wouldn't want to be sharing the same name as Josh Allen either. But yeah, they got questions, but they got talent, and so this is a fun first matchup, dude. Really, that's what's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But Doug Peterson, yeah, he sounded a little shook. He sounded a little shook. Let's see. Dolphin came. My knock on Tua is the lack of improvisation. If the called play is covered or broken, I think it's a fair criticism. I think that the critique of the Dolphins is like their system is awesome when it's run fluidly. And if it's not, because it's like so much work goes into the original package and deception of that. If it doesn't, and things do go a little squirrely, can it work? Can that work? And if it doesn't, what do? I think it's a fair critique. Doesn't mean that, first of all, doesn't mean it's not good enough to work. We'll see. It's evolving. It's in year 3. It's a big one. But I think it's a fair criticism. And this idea that Tua is going to be like, walking out there like he's Michael Vick. Like this was Tua. I was talking to Marcos about this, and we argue about Tua's mobility all the time. And this was kind of an interesting thing that Tua, this is classic honest Tua, where he was talking about his mobility and how he feels. And Tua basically said like the hip injury that he had in college ruined his mobility. And this is the best he's felt, but he doesn't think he's ever going to ever feel like he was when he was a star at Alabama.
Yeah, I would say it's not anywhere near where I was in Alabama, and I say that with humbleness because I wasn't as fast still in Alabama, but I was able to move a lot quicker when I was there. But I think after the hip injury, it kind of did take a toll still on my mobility. But I think I'm a lot better than I was last year and the year prior. So feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he bulked up last year. He took the jiu-jitsu. He's falling all over the place. He didn't feel himself. But, yeah, to hear that, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be that guy. First of all, it was a devastating ass injury. Like, I think we overlook what he went through to get back to where he was. And you even think back to that rookie year, and everybody, like, points to the Cardinals game of, like, oh, that was mobile Tua. And, yeah, I agree. He had some great plays in that, but he's not like juking. He's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. I think Trevor Lawrence is like on the bottom end of like mobile quarterbacks, but he's kind of a threat, and he's a bigger guy. But two, like I think everybody thinks like Tua's going to come out here doing video game moves, and one, I don't know if I want that, and two, I don't know if he has that in him anymore. And him admitting that, I was kind of like, oh, all right, that's something. That is something. Let's see. What do we got? Al Macco says, it's like the Heat undrafted players a year or two ago when they looked invincible when they're at their peak, but we look like a G League team when they aren't. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, when Caleb Martin is hitting crazy threes and his, he doesn't have like the zigzag follow through that he has sometimes, or his toes out on the line. Like, yeah, you're talking about an incredible athletic player, but flawed. And same thing with Gabe Vincent. Like Gabe Vincent at his peak, who's dealt with knee injuries coming into the league, and now maybe that's it for him. Maybe that's his peak. Kendrick Nunn. So I don't think that's a bad. It's not like apples for apples, but I think there's something there. Kyle, I appreciate the super chat, Kyle. He says, would you trade Tyreek for a top 3 O-line? Never. He's too much fun. I can't give him up. My favorite thing is Tyreek Hill bombs. Jalen. I mean, my favorite thing is the Jalen Waddle. I love the but no, I can't do that. I mean, like, lines are fun and probably more responsible, but I don't want responsible. I want bombs. If you told me like, yeah, hey, Tobes, you would never have to see Lee Eichenberg again, and I'd have a Teron Armstead who never got hurt, and I'd have Patrick Paul be able to be a guard, and we'd have Mike Pouncey in his prime, and you could have Mike Pouncey and Dwight Stevenson come back, and you could put it all together, mix them together, and what do you got? Bibbity bobbity boo. But you're taking away the cheetah. I can't do it. I can't mother bleeping do it. Let's see. Where was this question? Laking. Oh, our old friend Laking. How old were you when the Dolphins last won a playoff game? 2000. I was carried the 3. I was 14. Yeah. Yeesh. Long time. Oof. Too long. Dolphin Kane, he says he made Waddle the twist. He did. Polly King, starting a petition for Tobin to be on the OG's podcast. I love that podcast. I really do. I love Udonis Haslem. I have no reason why they would want me on that podcast, but it would be an honor. I love that podcast. I loved what was the recent episode? I love the sound episode. That was great. The only knock on the OG's podcast is there's definitely a line now with UD because they can get the best fun stories out of guys, but there is a line he doesn't want to, I think, put out the business of certain guys. And it was said at the start of the episode, Hassan said, this is my first podcast. And I would have, and maybe they did and cut it out because they wanted to do right by Hassan. But my only knock on it is as having a guy on a podcast and knowing that. And I think UD and his people knowing the pulse of the Heat, knowing the Heat fan, like, gotta know what the relationship was like with Spo, and you gotta know, like, well, what was the exit like? And you didn't get a ton of that. We just kind of got all like, hey, wasn't he the best? It's like, yeah, but he's also one of the Heat players that had like one of the falls from the organization. And I get it. Udonis cares about these guys, like, genuinely. He doesn't want to just put their dirty laundry out there, which is why I'm sure a lot of people go. But that's like a 10% complaint. Like 90% of the podcasts are awesome and just fun listens. And if you like Heat players, you want to hear them in a comfortable position. Like it's a great listen. I have not heard all of the Greg Oden one, Jake Otto. I got through like the first 10 minutes, but I was enjoying it. I hadn't even actually gotten to the part where he was on the Heat yet. So maybe tomorrow on the ride to the station. That'll be what I check out. Carlin is calling 2 of the first 3 games. Love him. Cannot wait. I am excited about that. Let's see. Jeffrey, do you think if the Heat are healthy, do you think they can make another deep playoff run? I do think it's possible. I don't think it's crazy. I think they obviously I think that it depends on Jimmy. Very clear. The big worry is is Jimmy going to have, if Jimmy's still Jimmy, if Jimmy still got Jimmy Butler in there, I'm not even talking about the contract thing. I'm talking about age. If he's still got what he can dial up and not be banged up, he's one of the best playoff players in the league. They need to take the regular season more seriously. They can't keep going through this yo-yo bull crap about missing games and whatnot. But I am one of those where it's there's part of me that's there has to be some kind of a change, but there's also part of me that's really, really intrigued about what Jaime can be, what Nico can be, and what Kalel can bring to the table for sure. So there's that. Gregorio says, is Eichenberg starting at center? I think Brewer was, what was the word on him? He was limited today. I got the injury report on my desktop. Let me see. Brewer was limited. I would assume that means he's playing. So I would say Eichenberg's probably going to be the right guard. Dolphin Kane, have a Brewski. I mean, thank you, buddy. You are an OG, sir. You are an OG to the show, and I appreciate all your support, man. Thank you so much. Last thing I want to say, my favorite Miami sports channel. Hope for the best for you and the fam. Also go live more. I'm really going to try and do that, Kyle. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Leonardo, any word on Ramsey? Has a hamstring, has practiced once over the last few weeks. They got 2 games in 4 days. Mike McDaniel's being very squirrely about it. I think tomorrow's going to be more of an answer on it, Leandro. If he's back out there tomorrow and he is not, if he's limited tomorrow, if there's progress shown tomorrow, that'll give us a better window than the first day. Because the first day is just a walkthrough really anyway. Mike McDaniel was explaining, they don't really practice. They're going through the verbiage of the game. They're just walking through. So I think that's the thing. Are you going to do more Panthers vids this season? Yes, I am. They deserve it. I just told, people started asking me to do Panthers vids, and I was like, I just didn't think, I think there's so many great guys who do it, like David Dwork and Roy Bellamy and George Richards, Florida Hockey Now. I was just does anybody want to hear? Because as people can tell you, Trevor's listening. He's like, I'm not a hockey aficionado. I have my guys who I know, right? I have, I have my guy Bob, and I have my thoughts on hockey, but but I guess people just want the reaction to it and want the fun. And I friggin' love this team. They're so much fun. And Bobrovsky's my dude. So, yeah, I think I might do something big games. And I don't know if I'll be as diehard as I am with the Heat, as far as doing them after every game, but I will try and do wet the whistle with more Panthers. We got some fun stuff coming up because we got some fun stuff lined up with them and this year. So Sir John says Tobin the Mush talking to Forgable. Dude, I'm not the Mush. Talked to him once this year, okay, and they won the damn Stanley Cup. So I can't be the Mush. I don't. It's not fair. It's not fair to put that on me. It's not fair. It's not fair. God, get no love on it, man. Let's see. Bray, he says, I'm a Bucks fan. Looking forward to seeing Khalil make progress. It's good for the league when the Heat and Bucks go back and forth as rivals. I agree. Even though you guys stole Damian Lillard from us, bastards. Jorge, curious, who is your favorite athlete of all time? Any sport? Come on, dog. You know, number 3. Dwayne Wade. That's an easy one. If it's not D Wade, Ed Reed for the Canes, Ricky for the Dolphins. Marlon's a tough one. I love Kevin Millar, Mikey Lowell, Derek Lee. Miguel Cabrera is the best. What am I talking about? I love Miguel Cabrera. I'm still not over that. Wade, are you getting Canelo on the show? I think one day we will. I'm trying. He's definitely a bucket list guy for me, Wade, as far as fighters are concerned. And I got some ins there, but they just it hasn't come through yet. You know, like sometimes with interviews, it's just got to line up. You know, like it's we're not, as much as I appreciate all this, but we're not the biggest show on the planet, and you gotta sometimes have the right connect, the right in, and sometimes some awesome stuff comes together, and sometimes it happens like that. And sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes it's a little bit of work. And then sometimes you think you have an in, and then sometimes you overstep your bounds. He's like, oh, we're not like that. So, but like, like sometimes some guys will come on and you'll like reach out to them personally and you'll be like, and the first time they're like, cool. And then I'm like, oh, I can do this whenever. And they're like, not all the time, dude. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. So, but anyway, I think so. I think I would not be surprised if before year's end. No, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't be surprised if before the end of next year, because he's fighting next week. I would doubt we're going to get him on before the next fight. But before the next fight, possible. What else we got? Al Macker says Gary Sheffield. He was great, dude. Who didn't do the bat wag? Come on, man. Josh Beckett. What else we got? Will you be at the red, white, and pink game? I will be. Believe I'm doing some kind of, I think I'm doing what I did last year, which is I'm broadcasting with Solana. The initial plan that I heard. It's not confirmed, but what I was talking with the Gutland is we don't do play-by-play, but we're watching the game as it goes on, because it's kind of it's an open run. Like, they're not really scrimmaging. So yes, I will be at the game. I will likely be broadcasting in the broadcast booth for it, and get a full recap for you of what goes down there. But yeah, definitely will be at the red, white, and pink game this year. That is my plan. You recorded it. I try to, William. I'm going to try to. It was a little tough last year because I was talking while recording. I was like an annoying dad at a play. But it was cool the one year. My favorite year I got to do it was the year after COVID. It was Lowry's first year. And for the red, white, and pink scrimmage, they just brought all the people from Baptist Health who were battling cancer. They got to come watch the game in open gym, but they let the media in. And so you got to literally like watch it from the baseline. And that was really cool. It's like you got to watch a full-blown practice. And I was like, wow, that's that was a lot of fun. I really, really, really enjoyed that. But I would imagine that I'm going to be back in the broadcast booth this year. That would be my guess. And last time that was up in the new Jack Ramsey. RVA Richie, what's up, my guy? Not the biggest, but the biggest show pony in the biz. Well, let me tell you something, dude. Wait till you hear our new Blue Chew reads that are coming out, dude. Oh, Blue Chew comes back next week, and I was recording the new commercials today. You want to talk show pony? This may be my finest work yet when it comes to radio. Kenton, what's going on, dude? Kenton always there at the start of the chat for the show. Appreciate you. Pete's takes. If we beat the Jags, we beat the Bills. If we lose to the Jags, we're losing to the Bills. That's the feeling. So it's either 2-0 or 0-2 in his mind. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Do you watch Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu fights or Jiu-Jitsu events on Fight One? Not really, dude. I can't say that. I've watched grappling before, like on Fight Pass. But my plan is my son's first competition is probably going to be coming up in probably like a month or two. So that's going to be my first time going to a jiu-jitsu competition. I'm looking forward to that. He's looking forward to it. And maybe that'll get me hooked on wanting to watch it on TV, but I have not done that. All right, everybody. I actually have to vamoose because I have to go do a radio hit. So I appreciate all you guys stopping by. If you guys want to hear it, I'll be on the Odyssey app in about 2 minutes talking Dolphins with the hell's this guy's name? Bart Winkler. And yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I will do a live again next week. I will try and shoot for next Wednesday. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Super chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you for that. And yeah, we'll talk to you rascals on the show tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Back at it. Tobin and Leroy on the 560 WQAM YouTube page. Talk to you then, show ponies.